We're live, okay. The open mic, special suffering of samsara. Right. Well, you might say something truthful, then you'll never get elected. Yeah, there's a fine line between understanding the first noble truth and being cynical. You don't want to cross that line. Cynicism comes from ego. What night was it? I came back Tuesday. Today is the 23rd, 16th, maybe. All right, so good evening, everyone. I wanted to touch just a little bit on this. I find this very inspirational. As you know, I mentioned Sunday that my son-in-law, Ariel Stillerman, is a professor at Stanford, and he's come out with a book, the kind of book that nobody buys, Court Poetry and the Culture of Learning in Japan. And it is really wonderful. He's largely talking about what's called in Japanese waka, which is court poetry. So there was this whole body of a particular way of a poetic form, a particular poetic form. But of course, for the Japanese, you know, it's so profound and so, not all of it was, but there was a whole subset within waka that was about the Buddha Dharma. And he calls that a chapter which he calls he's talking about the different powers of waka. This is one chapter, but this is under poetry and truth. And that's where he gets into the Buddha's message. For instance, some of this poetry was written by Kobo Daishi, who Kukai is his name. He was the genius, really, who was the founder of Tantric Buddhism in Japan. And it's called the Shingon school. Shingon means true word. It means the word of the Buddha, but it also refers to mantra. Nonetheless, he wrote a lot of waka. But these are not about him. These are about other great commentators on this particular form of poetry and relating it to, because it goes back to the 700s, relating it to like the home gods of Japan. And I was moved by this because, you know, being in Tibetan Buddhism, you hear about so many of these other kind of figures, these spectral kind of figures and mind creations and just all sorts of things. We make offerings to the local spirits, telling them that, you know, look, this is your territory. We know this shrine room, this land, but we're just going to rent it from you for a little bit so we can do this practice, and we'll make these offerings, and therefore you won't make problems for us during this time. You know, for most of us Americans, this seems like kind of like, I don't know, like just empty ritual or something that we just do, or we can relate it to our own minds. All of that's fine. But these things have a reality too, a reality that we don't see. And the thing that's so really unbelievable about the Dharma is that it's complete. You know, it's extremely deep, but it's extremely wide, vast at the same time. So he has this quotation from one of the great commentators on this type of poetry. He said, when original beings take temporary manifestation, their forms are diverse, but their essence is unchanged. In our land, that's Japan, Buddhas softened their radiance and manifested as godly brightness, softening the rough hearts of people and working as expedient means to assist the belief in the law of the Buddha. Continuing, he says, when we consider the potencies of waka poems, of these poems that are dealing with truth, when we consider the potencies of these poems, they have the potency to preclude the disorder and distractions of the mind and to bring serenity and quiet. Also, their meaning is contained in few words. They have the potency of the all-retaining. This means the true nature. The all-retaining is Dharani. Now, you may be familiar with Dharani. In India, there are mantra and there are Dharani. Dharani are like longer, you may say, utterances of Buddhas. I don't quite know the distinction between Dharani and mantra. Do you, Rogo?
Kind of, yeah, because Temple gave me a Dharani mantra like 5 years ago. It took only 2.5 years to do.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It was several pages, and then he broke it down into something that was almost like the 100-syllable mantra, a little longer, and that's what he said would be sufficient after I learned the preliminary stages. And then,
yeah, they're much longer, even longer than a 108-syllable mantra.
I think it's just, but I don't think it's like, giant book work, but it was long.
Yeah. So this ancient Japanese commentator is talking about Dharani. Obviously, they knew it from India. He's saying the all-retaining is Dharani. The gods of our realm, that's Japan, are local manifestations of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the greater form of the manifested body. The god, and he lists the Japanese god, Susanoo, was the first, with his poem in 37 syllables. This was not different from the words of the Buddha. The Dharani of India are in the language of that country. The Buddha used it to expound on Dharani. For this reason, in Yi Jing's, that's a great Chinese master, in Yi Jing's commentary in the Mahavajrayana Sutra we read, the languages of all lands are Dharani. Had the Buddha come to our land, Japan, he surely would have considered that the language of our land is Dharani. Soji, I don't know what that is, were originally without writing. Soji, he's saying Soji are a certain type of Japanese expression, which he's going to say are Dharani. Soji were originally without writing. Writing expresses Soji. In the writing of which country are the powers of Soji absent? What is more, the meaning contained in the Siddham script can be put into 5 great characters to great effect. The Siddham script is the sacred script that's used especially in Shingon, Vajrayana Buddhism in Japan. It's a form of Sanskrit. What is more, the meaning contained in the Siddham script can be put into the 5 great characters to great effect. The 6 defiling senses are all writing. Other than the 5 tones, there are no sounds. There are no words away from the Sanskrit character ah. Ah is the foundation for the true words of a Buddha. For this reason, the sutra reads, the words uttered by the long-tongued one, the Buddha, are all true words. So this letter ah, we have here a text of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra in 100,000 shlokas, 100,000 verses. And then there's the Perfection of Wisdom that's, I think, in 10,000 or 13,000 shloka. And then there's the one that I read sometimes, the Perfection of Wisdom in 4,000 verses. And then there's another one, but then there's the Heart Sutra, of course, this short thing. And then there's, the mantra, Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. And then there's the letter ah. So all of that comes out of this letter ah, and the Japanese are obviously recognizing that. But here, the 31 chapters of the Mahavajrayana Sutra correspond naturally to the 31 characters of waka poetry. This just blew my mind. To show you how interrelated all these things are and the power of a culture and kind of the inertia or momentum that people have through cultural power. It's kind of like, we're infused with our ideas of individualism, of individual freedom, of law, of, you might say science, whatever. There are certain kind of cultural powers that we don't have to establish. They're just kind of there. But for us to understand this, this is, it's very humbling. It's just very, very humbling. Because the principles of worldly and religious life are contained in these 31 characters, they provoke a response from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and they move gods and humans. Even though Dharani employ secular Indian words, when they are given the name Dharani, they have the virtue of eliminating sin. The Waka of Japan use everyday words too, but when called Waka, they can express feelings and therefore certainly provoke a response. And if they also contain the meaning of the Buddhist law, they are definitely Dharani. India, China, and Japan have different languages, but their essence is the same. So the teachings of the Buddha have spread not without benefits. Regardless of the language, if one grasps the meaning and expresses feelings, without fail, it will be moving. So he talks about a fundamental identity between Waka and Dharani. This identity is modeled after the identity between the gods and the Buddhas. In this expression, it is this expression of truth, argues this writer, that ultimately moves gods and humans and prompts a response from the Buddhas. And then he says, this ancient writer, the Buddha appeared in our land and soon received Waka. This is a composition by the Kannon at Kiyomizu. So this Kannon is the Japanese name for Chenrezig, and Kiyomizu is this temple outside of Kyoto, really on the border of Kyoto, slightly up in the mountains. And we happened to go there just spontaneously, I guess, when we were in Japan with Ariel. Ariel was at Wasabi, I think it is, Waseda University in Tokyo, doing postgraduate study, and he became our guide, which is great. We went where we wanted to go, and he was there to help us. So this is this verse from this spoken by Chenrezig at this temple was founded in, again, like the 700s, as a wandering monk, like Yogi. And he came to this fountain of water coming right out of the mountainside. It's still there, this beautiful pure water. And he put a Kannon statue there, and eventually a monastery grew up around it. So this verse, and it's in Japanese, but the English is, rely on me. So should all sentient beings, numerous like the mugwort in the fields of Shimeji, as long as I am in this world. Rely on me for as long as I am in this world. And the ancient commentator says, this must surely be a Dharani. There is no doubt about it. The gods are moved by Waka and realize people's wishes. The potency of Waka and the teachings of the all-retaining are so to be understood as essentially one and the same. Again, this tremendous, unity, this non-dual teaching, which is very hard. Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche said that someone asked about the Dharma coming to America. And he said, well, the jury is out, he said, on whether a non-dual teaching can actually take root in a dualistic land. And we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Well, anyway, I was moved by that. The unity of the gods and the Buddhas, and the fact that the Buddhas, like he said, reduce their brilliance, and people can then relate through the gods. It's just such a wonderful image, and the great, tremendous, skillful means. This is what compassion means with a capital C. We're limited in English, the upaya, the skillful methods, which are compassion, but of course that compassion, which is wisdom itself, but as perceived, you might say, by dualistic beings. So there's no gap, there's no separation, and it shows you the power. But of course, this is where the faith comes in, because we don't see, ordinary beings don't see. The Buddha nature is obscured, and there's just all sorts of ways to sort of come into difficulties. As the Tibetans say, the Tibetan proverbs is a great dharma, a profound dharma, a dark demon. It just somehow can bring up. I sometimes think of it in a very crude example, kind of like fasting. You're going along all the time, eating your Twinkies and all the things that we eat, and there's no problem, right? But then you realize, well, maybe this is not so wise, and so you decide to do a fast. Suddenly, all you can think about is food. Before it was very natural, and now all of a sudden you're all revved up. It's kind of like that, I think, with Dharma. When we actually see virtue, we start seeing our self-clinging, and not easy. So anyway, forgive my diversion here with that, but I was just so happy to see this book from Ariel and find something so wonderful in it. I mean, it's a huge 300-page book, and most of it's not about Buddhism for sure, but there it is. It struck me, the method. This is the genius of, certainly in the sutra teachings, these great teachings on bodhicitta, in all the 6 perfections. We have it all given to us, even in a way that we can relate to so ordinarily. But it's all this thing of method. It's so remarkable. It's been said about, say, the Sutric Pure Land teachings, that there's really no method there, or there's one method. The method is just this faith in Buddha Amitabha and his saving power. And it's the purification is just focusing on that and reciting the mantra or whatever the particular prayer is. But in a sense, there's no special method there. You're just doing this naked faith kind of thing. And also in Zen, there's Zen teachings that talk about, everybody wants kind of understanding and everything, but the Zen method is to take the student, not put a blindfold on him, but spin him around 100 times so he doesn't know where he is, but you have to sort of leap into the emptiness, leap into the Dharmakaya, but again, without method. Whereas the greatness that we have, and it's not a competition, but the particular genius, I think, of the Vajrayana is that it is loaded with method. In fact, the 84,000 different types of method kind of overwhelm us. At the same time, simple faith and guru yoga. So the whole range is there. And that's, of course, especially fortunate. For most of us, though, we don't know these methods and we don't have the cultural support for it. So, it can be a challenge, but that's where Sai Khenpo's here, the study. People can bore into this, face their doubts. Doubts are not bad. They're just the method by which stepping stones, step by step. So, again, forgive my prolixity here, but you'll say over the microphone before I talk again. Yes.
So it seems like Dharani probably means the everything, and then, of course, down to a more specific but longer mantra.
I'm thinking just from something that was in here. I don't know, but what struck me was that it was Sanskrit words that weren't like mantra. Not like sort of transcendent kind of meaning, or meaning that you don't even know. They're just like the letter Ah. It's just like loaded with profundity and empty, all these things. Whereas I got the feeling that the Dharani were more like worldly kind of terms, but because they were uttered by the Buddha, they have a transformative result too. But I think not mantra, not the kind of speech of a Buddha, for instance, but long. I don't even know if they might be more discursive kind of thing, but they're still sacred. I think that's the thing.
Thank you, Frank. It's always wonderful. We'll start on page 1 of White Tara Sadhana. Namo Sanju Choto Kungo Chomden Mar Dr. Kyabchi Jangchup Semgedo Namo Sanju Choto Kungo Chomden Mar Dr. Kyabchi Jangchup Semgedo Namo, in the Mother Victress, the embodiment of all the Buddhas, Dharma, and Sangha, I and all beings take refuge and give rise to bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment. Om Svabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Svabhava Shuddho. Bottom of page 2. I appear as the noble lady whose heart radiates light throughout the 10 directions, transforming into an indestructible protective sphere. Vajra, Raksha, Raksha. Once again, white light radiates to the Buddha fields of the 10 directions and invites the transcendent Victress Mother and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I prostrate with reverence and make inner, outer, and secret offerings. I confess all misdeeds and rejoice in all virtue. For the benefit of all beings, I beseech you to remain always. I dedicate all virtue entirely to perfect enlightenment. The field of accumulation dissolves into me. May all beings have happiness, freedom from all suffering, and unbiased equanimity. From within the state of emptiness appears the sacred land, the pure realm of the Akanishta Buddha field. Within Akanishta is a palace beautified by immeasurable precious woodland groves and exquisite garlands of utpala flowers. In the middle of the palace is a tom syllable in the center of a lotus and moon atop a magnificent jeweled throne. Light emanates from the tom, accomplishing the twofold purpose of others and myself. I then transform into the beautiful, radiant, white, wish-fulfilling chakra. My right hand rests in the gesture of supreme generosity, and my left hand holds a white lotus flower. Seated in cross-legged posture and endowed with the major and minor marks of a Buddha, my body radiates rainbow-colored lights. I am adorned with the 8 jeweled ornaments and 5 silken garments. Above my crown is Amitabha, and in my 3 places are the syllables Om, Ah, Hum. From the white tom syllable in my heart, light radiates, inviting the wisdom being resembling myself and the empowerment deities from the realm of Akanishta. They merge non-dually, and empowerment is bestowed, and blessings are sealed. Ja, Hum, Bam, Ho, Abhishekata Samaya, Shriye, Hum. Om Vajra Argam Padyam Pushpam Dupam Alokam Gandam Nevidyam Shapta Praticha Soha. Homage and praise to the exalted Mother Tara, who liberates from all misfortune, and at whose lotus feet all devas and asuras bow their crowns in reverence. In the heart of the transcendent Victress is a white wheel. At its hub is a tom with Om and Ha syllables to its right and left. The tom is encircled by my name or the names of those for whom I am dedicating the practice, and by the longevity mantra. At the 8 spokes of the wheel are the 8 white seed syllables starting in front and circling clockwise. Their light gathers the blessings and power of everything animate and inanimate in samsara and nirvana. As this light dissolves back into me, I attain the supreme state of a knowledge holder with power over life. In the wheel's 3 outer rings, the vowels circle clockwise, the consonants circle counterclockwise, and in the outermost ring, the Ye Dharma mantra circles clockwise. As they rotate, rays of white, yellow, red, blue, green, and purple light shine forth, fill my body, and emanate outward in spheres. Between the spheres are fresh blossoms of Utpal flowers, whose radiance produces the four activities: longevity, glory, and strength. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayer Jana Punye Pushim Guru Soha. Om Tare Tu Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jnana Manye Pushim Guru So Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jnana Manye Pushim Guru So Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jnana Manye Pushim Guru So Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jnana Manye Pushim Guru So Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jnana Manye Pushim Guru So Om Tare Tu Re Mama Aye Jnana Manye Pushim Guru So Page 10. The mandala before me is a perfectly arrayed Buddha realm, lovely to behold. Upon a radiant Udamara flower sits the transcendent conqueress, whose major and minor marks blaze with splendor. She has one face and 7 eyes. Her right hand is in the mudra of generosity, and her left holds an Utpala flower. She is adorned with silken garments and precious jewels. Above her crown sits Amitabha, and at her 3 places are Om, Ah, Hum. Light radiates from the Tom at her heart, inviting the wisdom being resembling herself from Akanishta, who then is inseparably absorbed. Om, transcendent victress, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, when I invite you through the power of undivided faith, please come here and care for me with love and compassion. Om, Aryatare Vajra Samaya Jatishtalan. Om, to the noble assembly I offer real and imaginary substances, outer, inner, secret, and suchness offerings, water to drink and bathe, the 5 sense pleasures, flowers, incense, lamps, fragrance, food, and music, the attributes of royalty, the auspicious symbols, the prosperity and glory of gods and humans. I offer all these as oceans of Samantabhadra offering clouds. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Argam Pratitya Soha. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Padyam Pratitya Soha. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Pushpam Pratitya Soha. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Dupam Pratitya Soha. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Alokam Pratitya Soha. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Gandham Pratitya Soha. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Nevidyam Pratitya Soha. Om Aryatare Sapariwara Shapta Pratitya Soha. Rupa Shapta Gandham Rasha Sparshanam Ratna Mangala Puja Ho. I imagine Mount Meru and the 4 continents and subcontinents with their surrounding enclosure, the divine realms, the billionfold universe ornamented by Varochana. Everything owned and unowned, I offer all this to the transcendent victress. Ratna Mandala Puja Megala Ahum. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun, and the moon. By visualizing it as a Buddha realm and offering it, may all beings enjoy the perfect purity of this realm. Exalted Mother Tara and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas abiding in the 10 directions and 3 times, I prostrate to you with complete sincerity. I offer real and imagined flowers, incense, oil lamps, fragrance, food, music, and the like. Gathering of the Exalted Mother, please accept them. I confess the 10 non-virtues, the 5 grave acts with immediate result, and every misdeed of the mind controlled by afflictions from beginningless time until now. I rejoice in the merit of all virtues accumulated in the 3 times by the hearers, solitary realizers, bodhisattvas, ordinary beings, and the like. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the greater, lesser, and common vehicles according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings. Until samsara is empty, please do not enter nirvana, but gaze with compassion upon sentient beings drowning in an ocean of pain. May all the merit I have amassed become the cause of awakening, and may I soon become a glorious guide of transient beings. Om Swabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Swabhava Shuddho. Page 20. I prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator. Homage Tara, swift heroic, eyes like lightning instantaneous, sprung from opening stamens of the Lord of 3 worlds, tear-born lotus. Homage he whose face combines 100 autumn moons at fullest, blazing with light rays resplendent as 1,000-star collection. Homage golden blue on lotus, water-born in hand adorned, giving effort, calm austerities, patience, meditation, her sphere. Homage crown of Tathagatas, actions triumph without limit, relied on by conquerors' children, having reached every perfection. Homage filling with tutare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with their feet the 7 worlds, able to draw forth all beings. Homage worshipped by the All-Lord, Chakra, Agni, Brahma, Maru, honored by the hosts of spirits, corpse raisers, Gandharvas, Yakshas. Homage with her tray and pate sounds, destroying those magic diagrams, her feet pressing left out right and blazing in a raging fire blaze. Homage to her very dreadful, destroyer of Mara's champions, she with frowning lotus visage, who is slayer of all enemies. Homage at the heart, her fingers adorn her with 3 jewel mudra. Light ray masses all excited, all directions wheels adorn her. Homage, she's so joyous, radiant, crown emitting garlands of light, mirthful laughing with tutare, gating Mara's devas. Homage, she able to summon all earth guardians assembly, shaking, frowning with her home sign, saving from every misfortune. Homage crown adorned with crescent moon, all ornaments most shining. Amitabha in her hair knot, sending out much light eternal. Homage she mid wreath ablaze like eon ending fire abiding. Right stretched left and joy surrounds you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage she who strikes the ground with her palm and with her foot beats it, scowling with the letter home. The 7 levels she does conquer. Homage happy, virtuous, peaceful, she whose field is peace nirvana. She endowed with Om and Svaha, destroyer of the great evil. Homage she with joy surrounded, tearing foes' bodies asunder, frees with whom and knowledge mantras, arrangement of the 10 letters, Homage to a seed letter of the shape of syllable, whom by foot stamping shakes the three worlds, Meru, Mandara, and Vindhya. Homage holding in her hand the hair-marked moon of Deva Lake form, which I spoke in Tara and Pe, totally dispelling poison. Homage she whom gods and their kings and the Kinnaras do honor. Armored in all joyful splendor, she dispels bad dreams and conflicts. Homage she whose two eyes bright with radiance of sun and full moon, with twice Hara and Tutare, she dispels severe contagion. And full of liberating power by the set of three natures, destroys hosts of spirits, Yaksha, and raise corpses to Pinture. These praises with the rude mantras and prostrations thus are 21. You first formed the resolve to awaken before the victorious ones, you, their noble mother, fulfiller of their awakened activities. O swift and courageous heroine, Sarasvati, treasury of merit, all victorious, Kurukula, Yaksha princess, invincible, conqueror, Tara of the teak forest, queen of the three realms, bestower of wealth, granter of auspiciousness, benevolent heroine, vanquisher of enemy troops, frowning lady, universal pacifier, lady of blazing light, boundless subduer, gray peacock lady, indomitable queen, hermit lady, goddess of light rays, obeisance to you. In you, noble Tara, I place my hopes to reach awakening, that I may free all beings from the ocean of samsara. To one who has true devotion to the goddess, a wise person who recites his prayer with faith, who remembers her in the evening and upon arising at dawn, absolute fearlessness will be bestowed. All misdeeds will be pacified and all lower realms utterly conquered, and one will be empowered quickly by 70 million Buddhas. Attaining greatness by this practice, one will arrive at the ultimate state of Buddhahood. By remembering her, even the virulent poison of plants or meat that have been eaten or drunk will be utterly expelled. This prayer completely eliminates the torment of afflictions of negative forces, epidemics, and poisons, even when recited on behalf of others. On reciting it clearly twice, thrice, or 7 times, those who want children will have a child, those who desire wealth will attain it. All of one's wishes will be fulfilled, all obstacles will cease, and every hindrance will be destroyed. Noble Aryatara, through your compassion, the obscurations of myself and all beings are cleansed, and the 2 accumulations are completed. In every lifetime, may unfavorable conditions arising from the 8 or 10 fears be pacified, and may Dharma practice, activities, and wealth increase. May all beings be liberated from danger and attain Buddhahood like you. In Aryatara's heart is a white tom encircled by the mantra garland. Its radiant light accomplishes the twofold purpose and increases life and glory. Om Tara. Om Tare Ture Mama Ayur Jana Punya Pushtam Guru Soha.
Sorry about the screen and I found it.
Page 38. Noble Goddess, Mother Tara, you dwell within the realm of the unborn Dharmadhatu, Mother. You who bestow happiness on all sentient beings, please protect us from all fears. Unaware that they themselves are Dharmakaya, my mothers wander in samsara with minds controlled by afflictions. Mother Goddess, please protect us. If the Dharma does not truly take birth in our hearts, we will follow verbal conventions and become deceived by erroneous philosophies. Genuine Mother Goddess, please protect us. Having seen the nature of mind, so difficult to realize, we do not habituate it but remain lost in negative activities. Mindful Mother Goddess, please protect us. Due to the habit of dualistic grasping at the mind that is self-arisen, non-dual wisdom, we are bound no matter what we do. Goddess of non-dual mind, please protect us. Although we have dwelt in the ultimate truth, we are unaware of the interdependence of cause and effect. Thus we are blind to the meaning of what is to be known. Omniscient Mother Goddess, please protect us. Even those of us who are disciples cannot see that everything is inseparable from the nature of unelaborated space. Mother of perfect awakening, please protect us. Om Aryatare Sapare Vara Argam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Sapare Vara Padyam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Sapare Vara Pushpam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Sapare Vara Dupam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Sapare Vara Alokam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Sapare Vara Gandam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Sapare Vara Nevidyam Praticha Soha. Om Aryatare Sapare Vara Shabda Praticha Soha. Homage and praise to the exalted Mother Tara, who liberates from all misfortune, and at whose lotus feet all devas and asuras bow their crowns in reverence. Om Aryatare Samaya Manupalaya Aryatare Danopa Tishtadritam Me Bhava Sutukayo Me Bhava Supukayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayacha Sarva Karma Sitsam Me Sitam Shriya Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavati Aryatare Muncha Aryatare Bhava Mahasamaya Sato. Om Aryatare Samaya Manupalaya Aryatare Danopa Tishtadritam Me Bhava Sutukayo Me Bhava Supukayo Me Bhava Anuraktam Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayacha Sarva Karma Sitsa Me Sitam Shriya Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavati Aryatare Mame Muncha Tare Baba Mahasamaya Sato. Om Aryatare Samaya Manupalaya Aryatare Tenopa Dishtadridu Me Bawa Sutukayo Me Bawa Supukayo Me Bawa Anuraktum Me Bawa Sarva Siddhi Me Prayacha Sarva Karma Sitam Shriya Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavati Aryatare Mame Muncha Aryatare Bhava Maha Samaya Sato. As you have forgiven whatever faults might have occurred due to deficiencies, incompetence, and the confusions in my mind, you will surely bestow true accomplishments on me. Om, please stay here together with this sacred shrine for as long as samsara exists. Remaining here, please bestow good health, vitality, power, and supreme attainments. Bottom of page 44. The wisdom being in front spontaneously departs into space, and the Samaya being dissolves into myself. And gods and humans worship you. You grant them cities like the kingly power of a victory banner's top. May the auspiciousness of the gurus and deities be present. By the virtue of my approach, accomplishment, and veneration, may transient beings quickly accomplish you. Exalted, transcendent Lady of Triumph, compassionate one, please remove the two veils of endless sentient beings and myself. Let us complete the two accumulations swiftly to reach complete awakening. Until that is achieved in all lifetimes, please remove and pacify at once all obstacles, evil forces, epidemics, and diseases, the various conditions leading to untimely death, bad dreams, ill omens, the 8 fears, and all harm, so that I may experience the highest joys of gods and humans and attain omniscience. Expanding and increasing the auspiciousness and perfect goodness of this world and beyond, let all goals without exception be accomplished effortlessly and spontaneously. May I be diligent in practice, and may the sacred Dharma thrive. Let me gaze at your exquisite face as I continuously practice you. Let me realize the truth of emptiness, and let precious bodhicitta blossom and expand like a waxing moon. When I am born from a divinely beautiful and sacred lotus in the Victorious One's excellent and joyful mandala, may Amitabha, the Buddha of infinite light, directly reveal his prophecy, and may I strive to attain it. O Goddess, whom I have practiced throughout all my lives, Mother of the enlightened deeds of all the 3 times Buddhas, blue-green with 1 face and 2 arms, you are the swift subduer. May the auspiciousness of the Mother holding an Utpala be present. Mother of the victors, Tara, may I and others become just like you in form, retinue, lifespan, pure realm, and excellent noble signs of perfection. By the force of praising and supplicating you, let disease, malevolent spirits, poverty, and quarreling be ceased, and let the Dharma and auspiciousness increase throughout the world and in all directions, wherever I and others dwell. Having discarded physical flaws, you possess the major and minor marks of a Buddha. Having discarded faults of speech, your voice is the melodic birdsong of a Kalavinka. Having discarded faults of the mind, you see all knowable things. O brilliant Mother of auspicious glory, may your auspiciousness be with us. Om Dikha Kyo Mala Chakchalu Trashi Babar Mala Chakchalu Nyunsung Gek Mala Chakchalu Tori Lamdran Mala Chakchalu Tag Tu Keki Tong Parde Dadung Tu Je Kyab Tu So Om Dikpa Kekyo Mala Chakchalo Trashi Babar Mala Chakchalo Gyensong Gek Mala Chakchalo Tori Lamdran Mala Chakchalo Tag Tu Keki Tong Parde Dadung Du Je Kyab Tu Song Om Dikpa Kekyo Mala Chakchalo Trashi Babar Mala Chakchalo Gyensong Gek Mala Chakchalo Tori Lamdran Mala Chakchalo Tag Tu Keki Tong Parde Nadung Du Je Kyab Tu So Homage to she who protects from the 8 fears. Homage to she who blazes in auspicious glory. Homage to she who blocks the gate to the lower realms. Homage to she who guides on the path to the higher realms. You are my constant companion. I pray you will eternally protect me with compassion. O Mother of the 3 times Buddhas who loves all sentient beings as a mother loves her child, may I become free from the iron shackles of self-grasping, and may my activities that benefit beings equal yours.
That was awesome. Seriously. For a million years.
Thank you.
Well, really, I just want to realize I'm everything and everything's in me and just feel content. That or the pure realm of being with you. Thank you.
Right. Right.
Frank, I do have to say, once you come to the conclusion that really you're just supposed to see, like, you know, how like you know, I always talk about not one, not two, and then we're literally like you know how the sorry if this hurts anyone else. They're kind of the Cinderella teachings of thinking that you're not okay the way you are, and that you need to look like Brad Pitt and you know, golden, that you're in your Sambhogakaya, emanating, having trillions of multi-personality disorders, emanating people in thousands of different ways everywhere. You know, but really what you're supposed to feel like is actually, I'm okay with where I am, I'm fine, and it's a beautiful day in my neighborhood. So it's weird to know you're like thinking I want to be a superhero, right? And then you're like, well, that won't work because I'm just actually supposed to feel, oh, I'm okay. Divine pride, which is basically, I'm okay just the way I am. Right? And then you have pure view, which is, you know, it's a beautiful day in my neighborhood, like you know, like Mr. Rogers with the Bodhisattva with the cardigan.
I think we're lucky as Americans because we have Hollywood.
Right.
And if there's any teaching about the Deva realm, that it's not complete.
Right.
You know, that you want to have an aspiration higher than the Deva realm.
Right.
People who have everything, good looks, money, people, celebrity, everybody loves them. And unfortunately, sometimes they open their mouth. it's like, and they give awards to themselves. You know, the Academy. The Academy of Arts and Sciences. There ain't no sciences there. There's some art, but
It's like me telling you guys are great Buddhists.
right.
The best Buddhists.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I've been wanting to tell someone to
Right.
get that.
I know.
Yeah, but divine pride and pure view has been really just running around my head for the last decade, and enough. And I feel like I'm top there. I still look in the mirror and I'm like, oh. And then, of course, right now I'm actually the best I'll ever be this lifetime. It's not like it's any better.
Just don't close the books to reality. Right.
Frank, thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you. And is that actually Ariana's not the way that
Ariel.
Ariel's actual book?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it got published by, let me see who published it.
Wow.
Yeah, it just came out. Just came out.
Amazing.
Yeah, Harvard University Press.
Wow. Very cool.
He's a top-notch kind of scholar. And I mean, I'm amazed. I'll show it to you. I mean, it's got all this, you know, Japanese writing, and it's just endless footnotes and, you know.
Does he know just basic kanji, or does he know the whole? All of
He knows the whole kit and
Oh my
caboodle.
gosh. So
Yeah, he's a brilliant guy. He's a brilliant guy. And because he's from Argentina,
Yeah.
you know, Japanese studies are not as far along in Argentina as they are here
Oh.
in the States. So he's done a lot of things like having, I don't know what you call them, just like events, you know, publicizing particular Japanese authors or books in Buenos Aires. So he's in a very wonderful kind of position. But he's such a down-to-earth guy too. I mean, he's really he was doing woodworking, you know, in his garage,
Wow.
and they live in this kind of complex where they own the house, but they have to sell it back to Stanford if they ever leave.
Okay.
So, bye. So you know, so it's kind of like it's not a condominium, but they have, you know, it's a whole neighborhood, and so they have a lot of rules and stuff. And so he had a workshop, a wood workshop that he was doing in his garage, and it was wonderful. He's pulling out salad bowls and all this stuff. He's quite a talented guy, and liked it. But one of his neighbors complained, and they had to stop doing it. No, I think it's just.
How dare you be happy here?
I think it was just ethnic hatred. Actually, it was a Pakistani guy, and I think, you know, Ariel's Jewish, and but he was breaking the rules, so